So, near and dear to our hearts, animals. Yay. Animal nutrition. Uh-oh. Oh, that didn't sound good. So all these processes are not always done in the same cell. So all animals are going to have to do what I'm going to diagram here. Single-celled animals do it all in one cell. You'll see some protozoa, not next week, but the week after in lab. Those organisms do it all in one cell. In us, it gets divided up among different organs because we're larger. But you have to do all this stuff. And it's more complicated for a variety of reasons. So let me make a little more space here. So we have food, what we eat, and it's polymers. We eat protein, lipid, DNA, RNA, carbohydrates, water, salts, etc. Right? So we, as animals, we don't typically eat straight amino acids unless you're on some sort of strange diet. Right? And you don't typically eat just plain old DNA or you don't eat nucleotides. You eat as part of DNA. Where do you get DNA? When you eat anything that has cells in it, the nuclei of those cells have DNA. So if I have some, peanuts for lunch, in the cells of those peanuts are some DNA from the nuclei of those cells. And then you get a little bit of RNA as well. So you eat all these polymers. And that's what we take in. And then we still have to satisfy that growth and living thing. So let me give myself a little more space here to draw this. So I'm going to draw a kind of oddly shaped cell just to fit everything in. I think this will give us enough room. Yeah, there we go. That'll do it. All right. So we still need to do growth and living. And we do respiration in mitochondria. Same deal as everybody else. We have oxygen goes in, carbon dioxide comes out. Right? Our cells have the DNA is in the nucleus. We have a cell membrane, or a plasma membrane, I could say plasma membrane, or cell membrane, depending on what you call it. Distinction is not important. And there's no cell wall. Right? And we have plasma. Right. So how does all this fit together? We eat, which is a notable difference from most of the other organisms we've seen. There's digestion. We have to have digestion because we need monomers, glucose, and vitamins. Right? And what we eat are polymers. So you first break them down into monomers. Then there's some biosynthesis, basically rearranging monomers to get your right balance. What's going on there? There we go. These feed in, and they feed into growth and living. All right. So there's a variety of complications. We have it easy in some respects because we don't have to bother making stuff. We eat things that made it for us. So that's kind of nice. So our biochemistry, biosynthesis is pretty simple. We don't have to make a lot of things because we eat the amino acids that the plants made for us. However, there are some problems with that. Because we're not cannibals, we eat things that are not the same as us. And so oftentimes what you eat is not exactly what you need at that moment. And so there's a certain amount of rearranging and futzing around that has to go on. And there's two particular things that are important. One of them is that some of what you eat, you can't digest. undigested solid waste, which is what we call feces. Feces is a complicated thing. It contains bacteria and a variety of other things, but largely what's in feces is stuff that you can't digest. So there's some things that are indigestible. Right? Also, there are some unused monomers, toxins, etc., and these are given off in urine. Right? And so, because some of what you eat is actually bad for you, because plants make things to try to discourage you from eating them, or you might eat something that wasn't good for you for some other reason, and you have to get rid of that. Also, what you can't store, you have to get rid of. If you guys remember from Bio 111, we talked about phenylketonuria. You need a half a gram of phenylalanine every day. You typically eat 2 grams. That means there's a gram and a half. It's got to go away. Those are unused monomers. Humans can't store amino acids. We pass them in urine, and they're gone. And so, as animals, like I say, we don't have to make stuff, but we have the problem. What we eat is not always exactly what we need or can digest. So there's a certain amount of waste. You'll notice that plants and bacteria have no urine or feces because they don't eat things. They make exactly what they need. There's nothing wasted for them. In our case, there's always a certain amount of stuff that gets wasted. Questions about that? I want to talk about fungi.